Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Brandy Janae, and I am back. I am back with the Love and Marriage Huntsville review from the latest episode, which we are on episode 12, season 9, episode 12. And I guess we're gonna get to Miss Trish. I guess she feeling herself. I guess maybe she over her jitters. I don't know. But I feel like coming for Mel is the wrong move. But let's just start at the top of the show. Where we start off with the show. This episode opens up with Nell and Chris doing a they went to the place they're gonna have a vow renewal, and they do a walkthrough with their kids, Lance, Kayla, and Chris. So they look at the venue, and when they get done looking at the venue, kind of checking everything out, they have a seat outside outdoors and began to just kind of discuss what everybody's duties are, right? And Lance decides to kind of talk to Neil about finally going to her mother's gravesite. Say he would want to organize getting them all there. Neil at this point in time has not been to her mother's gravesite, and I guess it looks like she probably hasn't grieved that loss as well. So Neil is hesitant, but it looks like she does agree to letting him kind of coordinate that for them and the family. So the next scene is we see Trish with her children at the trampoline park. So they go to the trampoline park. She takes that time to discuss with them the fact that her and their dad have not been divorced, which they was her oldest son seemed to be surprised by that. I think everybody is at this point, right? Um, but she discussed that she is going to do that. She is going to file. And he asks her if she's thinking about getting married. And she makes a very quick and interesting response. She said, not anytime soon. And then she says, well, not soon. Um, she kind of cleans it up. I think she remembered she is mic'd and on camera. Um, and so, just going back to a couple of my previous reviews when it comes to Love and Marriage Huntsville, I keep saying that Ken is way too thirsty. And Martell gave him excellent advice when he said to let her be the one to get the divorce, right? Don't push her into it because she's not even there. And it sounds like she's only even considering getting married because he's pressing that as something that he wants and needs. And then when you see, that's why, like, it's hard when men are come in and do stuff for you because she probably is answering him and feeling like she has to comply, to what he wants because he's doing things for her and her children. Anyway, but yeah, she makes it clear that she is not getting married anytime soon. I'm not sure if Ken has that information. I think he thinks otherwise from the conversations we saw on camera, he thinks otherwise. Anyway, Nell meets with Trish at her home. She gives her a nice little spread, really sweet. And so she want to talk to her about Martell and Marquez and those situations. Trish is just, I don't know, she does not communicate well, like at all. Just even in a regular conversation, she just does not have, excuse me, good communication skills, maybe good social skills. Maybe she's not able to be social or something, but she's just really, really, really strange to me. Every time I see her on camera, every time it comes for her to speak, she's just really strange. She always sounds nervous. She doesn't sound sure. Like, I don't understand how you're telling a story about something that happened to you, but it sounds like even you questioning it. Like, I don't get it. Anyway, but so like I say, Nell asked her about it. She just basically said she came over. They sat on the couch. Martell couldn't stop talking about Mel and his children and how he really messed up. And Trish agreed with him. And that's where he said, well, I didn't call you over here to be a therapist. I think at this moment she was still trying to figure out why he did call her over, because she says he didn't come on to her at all. Martell said the same thing. I don't know what she came over dressed like or anything, but it sounds like Martell didn't get what he thought he was getting. That's what it sounds like. Because of course, a man DM you, ask you to come over to his house, even though you are a trainer. That's suspect. You know the man is flirting with you. Like, cut it out, Trish. But she said he did not come on to her while she was there, and basically after that she just left, because that's what Neil said. Well, I would have got up and left. She said, "Well, I did." Like, okay. So after that, she kind of goes into the spiel with what's been going on with her and Marquez, and how he ended up leaving, and basically why it's taken all of this time. We still haven't gotten to the why. Like, why has it taken you 5 years to get this divorce, and waiting for somebody else to sign? I agree with Maurice. Like, you don't need the other person to get divorced. So that's just a crock of bull. Um, so she explains to Neil that, basically she lost a lot of people, her mom, her dad, and her sister in a short period of time. Marquez was not there for her emotionally or in any way, to support her during those things. And he said he needed to go find himself. And so she told him, okay, you can go find yourself. And so that's how he ended up out the house, and they in limbo for 5 years, basically. Make a long story, or make a confusing story really short, sweet, and to the point. Because that's what it is. So Trish does get emotional while she's discussing her sister's passing. And so Nell kind of comforts her, which was really nice, and really told her like she didn't have to talk about it anymore. See, like, those are the little things that, kind of breaks what we call the third wall, right? Because I feel like she was telling her that not just in comfort, but that was the purpose in her showing up at the house, was to have these discussions. And once she saw her in distress, she let her know that, hey, we don't have to talk about this no anymore. Like, I'm not gonna keep pushing you for this information. So kudos to Neil for having her heart. And then Neil decides to open up a little bit about the loss of her mom, and just kind of recognizing that she probably had not dealt with her loss as well. And she keeps her emotions bottled in. The next scene, we see Ken meet with his friend, and they're discussing Trish, Martell, and Marquez. And the irony is that Martell has become this fixated part of her story. Is that because Martell really don't have much of a storyline, and he can't bring Ariana on? So okay. Um, he admits to being frustrated, which, no duh, Ken. While you was sitting at the table last week with Marcel, Maurice, and Lance, you tried to make it sound like what's wrong with them. Yet everything that they said, you done went back home and now you questioning your own self. And rightfully so in this case, right? Rightfully so. You should be concerned about dating a woman who's still married to a man she's been separated from for 5 years. You should be concerned about that, no matter what she's saying to you. You should have enough sense on your own to be concerned about that. Why did anybody have to bring that up to you? And for you to turn around and want to defend, like, I feel like you feel like there's something to defend. But yeah, he admits to his friend that he's getting frustrated, that it's hard to communicate with Trish. No duh, because it's hard to watch her communicate. Um, and the question keeps coming up, like, what's taking her so long? So his friend just kind of gives him his perspective of how views Ken when Ken is in relationships. So Ken seems to be the quintessential nice guy. That is the way his friend just described him. He basically described him as the person that takes a lot and is always kind of getting beat up in his relationship, meaning, kind of walked all along. He called it a punching bag, to be exact, called him a punching bag. So you're always the punching bag in your relationships. Ken explains this by trying to say, hey, people are in general like mean people. I understand that because I think I'm that way. I'm not a punching bag, but maybe I started off at some point in my life. However, I agree, people are like not nice people in general. A lot of people have their own motives, they have, just their own ways, and they're not always pure and kind. And so you want to show up as somebody pure and kind to people because it's enough people that don't have those intentions, right? So I do agree with that and I do understand that. But I think his friend just really wanted to point out to him, like, hey, when are you going to look out for yourself, right? When are you going to put your needs and not yeah, when are you going to put your needs at the top of your list for what you want for your life? Like you're literally like for a man, and it's the same thing with women. For a man who wants to get married and wants to have a family, it's a little hard to do that with somebody who is already married. Like that's just something that you really should have known from the start. So the next scene is Neil and Chris. They go visit her mom's gravesite with the children. This was a very emotional scene. The kids kind of go one by one and they discuss, just where they were emotionally at the time of their grandmother's passing, and just kind of, I think, I don't know, I guess just kind of releasing any regrets maybe. Like Kayla was in college, and so she mentioned that she just really hate that she was in college while that was happening when she passed. And Lance kind of says that he just really regrets not spending a lot of time, just taking for granted that his grandma was passing. And he was really just, concerned and too engulfed in what he had going on. And he kind of regrets just not being there more. And Neil, kind of reiterates the fact that um, her mom really loved them, loved her grandkids. And the part that really was touching for me, funny how you can watch some stuff and then it kind of penetrate and remind you of stuff in your life. But Nels, she as she's talking to Lance and she's saying, you were her first grandchild. And she's like, she really helped me a lot with you. And she started to tear up and cry because she, just remember she was scared. And it really resonated with me because I had my first son at 19. I think Nell said she was 20. I had my first son at 19. And, you know, it wasn't until I heard Nell that I remembered like how scared I was. And I feel that probably is for anybody, especially at that age or younger. And it just is nice to know that Nell really had her mom support to help her do things that she didn't know, how to do, or that she had to figure out. I really wish I had support like that when I was, a new mom at 19. But I didn't. I really had to jump in and figure it out and do my best. And I really had nobody that I could even express the fact that I was afraid, I was scared, like what was I gonna do? And it's so funny. I talk about this sometimes, like when you have a baby, it's like they just send you home, like they don't like, hello, I never did this before, right? um, but luckily with God, all things work out. So I thought that was really touching, and it really hit home for me. Nell has just a moment where she breaks down and cries out and lets her mom know that she misses her. And Chris has a message that he sends and leaves for Miss Betty, is Nell mom's name. So that was a really emotional scene, right? But every now and then we love being able to have those moments and those scenes that just really remind you that these people go through the same things. I mean, and outside of the drama part, right? That these are things people deal with. And sometimes it is helpful to just see somebody else how they navigate through. All right, so now it's time for the bachelorette party. The girls are showing up for the bachelorette party. So let's see. Destiny is hosting this party for Neil. Um, at the time when this conversation starts, Neil and Stormy are the only ones. Did I say Stormy? I mean Sunny. Thirsty Sunny, honey. Um, all the girls except for Sunny and Neil have arrived to the bachelorette party. And so Mel wants to have a conversation with Trish because, of course, Kimmy kind of let her know like Trish was like feeling some type of way about what she said at the kids' party. So Mel just asked her, "Hey, um, you got a problem with me?" So Trish, in her unsure, don't know what to say tone, she's like, "Well, no, I don't have a problem with you, but I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't have a problem with you, but like, well, you have a problem. Like, who, what? Okay." So she gets it out. Basically, she didn't like that Mel said, "I think she's still in love with him," talking about her husband. Um, and Mel says, "Well, I was joking." And Trish kind of said, well, I didn't take it as a joke. Like it wasn't a joke." And I feel like Trisha is reaching. I'm like, you went past everybody you should have a problem with, like your own husband, and just jumped right off the cliff, right on over into Melody's lane. And I don't know why. I don't know who put that battery in her back to do that. I don't think it was Kimmy. I think Kimmy was being upfront about the conversations that she had. I think people get that mixed up, right? I feel like sometimes on the internet, people are starting to call Kimmy somewhat like messy. Mm, sorry, y'all. I got the hiccups. I need to get some water. But I don't think Kimmy is messy at all. Like if you have a conversation about somebody and they're not in the room, and then when y'all all get together, you bring it up in front of them. That's not being messy at all. That's letting them know, like, because that's what Kimmy said when as soon as Trish said, "Well, I don't have a problem with you. And if I had a problem with you, I would just let you know." And so Kimmy's like, "Well, that's not the impression I got," because Kimmy know that that's not what she told Mel. And so Mel kind of chimes in like, "Yeah, like that's not." So Trish comes back, and that's where the butt come in at. Trish is a horrible communicator. She is horrible for the screen. You know how Carlos King always telling people like the camera loves you. The camera does not love Trish. Like it is a disaster every time she is on the screen, like a train wreck. And I want to look away from it, but she all engulfed in the show. Like what? I didn't even need that conversation between her and Mel. Like really, you are reaching, Trish. You are reaching, and she's not the only one that think you still might be in love with that man. So does the man that you living with right now and sleeping with right now. He thinks the same thing. That's what you're mad at, that you can't control those thoughts. But anyway, um let's go on. I mean, I feel like that was pretty much the gist of them going back and forth. Trish kind of amped her tone and was kind of speaking like she wanted to fight a little bit. Um, and I didn't understand that either. So Mel is like basically like you talking to me like you know me. And You don't. And so if you gonna give me 1,000, I'm gonna meet you where you are, you know. So she say, well, it's just two bees fighting in, it's just two bees arguing. Like, Trish, this is not the energy we want to see. We really want to see you like be yourself, but this is horrible. She is horrible. She is a disaster on camera. I don't like, I know that they are filming this next season. And really it's just because she has that little drama going on. But I wouldn't give a doggone. Like, it's not worth it for me. She can really not be included. Well, at the end of this, here comes Thirsty Sunny. Thirsty Sunny D. And so now Destiny got to keep her composure after she didn't just told the girls like, "Hey, we want to keep the energy good before Nell get here." Then come in Thirsty Sunny D, walking. She goes sits over by Nell, and she, ugh, she is the worst. Also, she is not filming next season. Thank you, Jesus, because the thirst is way too real, and it is like you coming in trying to poke that girl. I don't know what, I don't understand the point in that. Like, you have to have super low self esteem to purposely place yourself in a room with somebody who you know you don't like or don't like you, and also that you know feels like you wronged them because now you're married to their ex-boyfriend. Like, you have to have the lowest self-esteem to do that. The lowest of the low. Like, that is not a person with high self-esteem doesn't move like that. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. Did y'all enjoy this episode? It really was kind of a filler episode because I'm thinking we got 2 more episodes left. And of course, next week we're gonna continue with the bachelorette party. I think they're gonna do some body painting, and Destiny and Sunny gonna have some words, you know. And Sunny has some energy that I don't know where she got that from. Again, it's the low self-esteem for me, because I feel like people think that if they tell you or if they behave in this way that seems like it's high self-esteem, that you can't recognize that it's low self-esteem. You literally placed yourself in the same room with your husband's ex-girlfriend, and you are constantly trying to prove to her that you're the wife and that you didn't double cross and that you didn't overstep. That's low self-esteem. That is low self-esteem for you to have to do that. Because you could have married that man and just stayed in St. Louis. You could have talked to Carlos King, Miss Ex producer, and told him, hey, let's do a love and marriage St. Louis. Let me find my group of friends. You can get a whole show and base it around me and our situation. That is high self-esteem. And that's what that looks like, because what that means is you ain't focused on this other person, right? You did what you did. You say it was all in the on the up and up and the right. So what you got to prove to anybody? The fact that you play and place yourself is the case, because they don't live there. That's what I like. Go back and watch the short I did. Like, they were literally squatting in the city of Huntsville, squatting, because neither one of them are from there. Her or Moses. Moses is currently well, he might be getting ready to get out, but he currently finishing up his sentence because he violated probation to come and film. That is low self-esteem. That is the lowest self-esteem on both of their parts. So it just sucks that Destiny has herself in a position where she has to, you know, deal with that, and then she has to show up like she is the one um with low self-esteem, because out of the two of them, it's not her. It is Sunny. Sunny, you have low self-esteem. You don't even have any standards, because how do you let your husband reasonably violate probation so that, and you know what the consequence of that is. Like, what was the purpose? Oh, and it's probably so he can just get off paper, right? So he won't have to have any type of probation, parole, anything like that. But if we're talking about a year and a half, like, yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid. But let me tell you how what black people do to us. They'll turn around and present that to us as if we the ones that's crazy. Like, why would I sit on paper for a whole year and a half where they gotta tell me what to do and where to go and woo woo woo? Because you don't want to be in jail? Because jail is a far worse place to be to put yourself in? That's why. But they'll tell us that, they'll look at us and try to make it seem like you crazy. Like, yeah, whatever. Both of y'all had low self-esteem. So clearly they deserve each other. I believe, going back, even though Destiny has not said nothing, but I think that is the reason why he never filmed with her, because, and that's the reason why she was always going to St. Louis, because he was on probation and could not leave the state. So Destiny was being a good woman, a high functioning woman. That's what we call high functioning. Because hey, I come and see you. You ain't gotta cross state lines and risk going to jail. Cause I ain't got no money to come put on your books. Sunny, low vibrations, low, you like, right. That's what you decided. You get married to a man, he's so thirsty to make a name for himself. He crossed state lines, you sitting there cheesing right with him. Yeah, come on, baby. And now you got to put money on his books. Now y'all got to have recorded conversations every time you talk. And we the crazy ones. Yeah, okay, girl. Sunny, I can't with her. Her and Trish, they were bad additions to the season. They were horrible additions to the season. Now maybe Sunny was needed to usher Destiny back in, because I don't think Destiny really had much of a storyline without this Sunny and Moses thing going on. And because Destiny has been so private about whatever her life was going on in her real life, she did bring her dad out last week, and he was fishing, and they had a nice little conversation, so we got to know a little bit more about Destiny that way. But I mean, maybe that was what was needed to pull her out. So maybe now she know, hey, let me give y'all a little information so y'all ain't got to go digging through the skeletons in my closet. Okay. And that's what she need to do. But Sunny is a no-go for me. I didn't like her. She got low self-esteem. She needs to realize that. But I guess if you with a man who got low self-esteem, like, you attract things like that, So I guess that's a match made in heaven. Anyway, that's all I got, y'all. I gotta get ready to get to the suite. So drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode. Again, it was like a filler episode. Oh, I got a comment. Oh, hey girl. I look at you. You say you don't watch the show. Yay! Thank you. I can't believe you don't watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, girl. It's good. Well, it's interesting, right? It started off good, and now it's taking on this whole little thing. Which that's what I'm saying. This whole Sunny and Moses thing was like gutter, low vibrations all over the place. But it is a pretty decent show. What I like about it, again, like, so I got to give Carlos King some props, even though he is messy and he gonna follow the mess. He probably gonna orchestrate some mess, and it might not be always the best mess. But what I'm gonna give him the props for is being down in Huntsville, Alabama. Like putting them on the map in that way, making a name for Huntsville, Alabama, and it's not always like a like with the Housewives, New York, Beverly Hills, like a big city. I like that, Bell Collective is in Jackson, Mississippi. So I think that's kind of where I get my support from him, or for him. Love and Marriage Detroit, and then the Love and Marriage DC, which Huntsville, like I said, Huntsville and Jackson, Mississippi, in my opinion, those are the most significant because those are towns and cities that people I feel like dismiss. And so it's cool to see, us from there and they doing good. Like even the cast, they are, builders, contractors, lawyers, um, they doing things in their community, real estate, brokers, not just real estate agents, but brokers and stuff. And I think it's important as a community that we see us in those spaces, and it's not just always the others, and I know we know some of us are doing it, but it's not always as many. And so it's good to see us on the screen. You should check it out one time when the housewife ain't on. And then you can catch up and see how it is. I say Carlos King is gonna be the black Andy Cohen, which it feels like that's what he doing, taking Andy Cohen's blueprint. Because now he got the show on that's called Reality with the King, which I don't really enjoy it that much. I only watched one episode. I got halfway through the episode with Lisa Ray. But it feels copycatish, and I don't like it. Feels copycatish with what Andy got with the Watch What Happens. So yeah, it's kind of like get your own thing, guys. Get your own thing. I ain't mad at you like using his formula, but get your own thing going for sure. Well, I'm looking forward to us getting on tomorrow so we can discuss Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine. Girl, we got a lot to discuss too because Phaedra came out with a canceled check, honey. She said she paid. Oh, do you think you're gonna be able to go? See you tomorrow, darling. But yeah, that would be nice. Do you think you're gonna be able to go? You in Miami? Where they gonna be? Are they come? They gonna be in Atlanta, ain't they? You say, girl, no. Well, you're gonna have to catch the replay because I'm sure he gonna play it on something. I'm sure he gonna play it on something. Even if it ain't nothing but YouTube. All right, girl. Well, let me get up out of here. I got a client at 1. I need to get on ready for. All right. Maybe I might pop on a little later, but I did just want to get this review out the way. Jump down in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about this filler episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button so you can be notified when I go live. All right, guys, I'll holler at you later.